Okay, hello. We are going to talk about how to find a channel on the board if somebody plugs an instrument or a microphone into one of the inputs up on stage that is not currently assigned on the group that we have. So there's a few ways to do this, but the easiest way that I've found is to actually use the iPad app. So what the iPad does, I'm going to cut over to the screen recording here, and what you can see up in this row of decibel meters is we have one channel that's sending signal. So you can click these little decibel meters to jump to those sections. So if we jump to this one, in this example, what I did is I took the PC mix out of our main mix here, and we can see that this video channel is the one that's sending signal. Now, most of these, especially if they're not assigned, you'll see up top their IP number. So IP40, IP39. On stage, you're going to be dealing with probably nothing higher than IP20, if I had to guess. Just for this example, this one's way over here, but most of the time you'll be looking in these first few groups. But still, the same thing applies, right? IP12, if that was the one that was sending signal, we'd be able to see it here. So I'm going to come over here. Just pretend that video isn't already labeled. It just says, IP40, which would also be in the top left up here. So now what we can do on the mixer, you're going to go to Setup, and on the Setup screen in the top left is a button called Surface. And when you first load Surface, it's going to be all the way on IP1 on both rows. And what this is the top row is every single channel, and the bottom row is what we currently have assigned to our faders down below. So in this case, because we use the iPad app, we know that we're getting signal through IP43. So we're just going to scroll over. If you press and hold on this and move your finger, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it kind of like highlights, and you drag it down to the bottom row. So we're going to put that where we want it on our mix down below, which we want it between the CD channel and the sides, right over here. So we're going to take the vid SW, press and hold, kind of move down, hover over that empty space, let go, and there we are. We have now got that channel assigned to this board. So let's pretend that the bass was in IP2. You can bring IP2 down, and we've got a handful of open faders. So we're going to press and hold, and let's say we'll bring that down next to the electric guitar. You can see that the fader moved, but there's nothing really here, right? So we're going to select that fader. We're going to go into processing. And now this is that fader. So we can go, if you just press on it, it'll take you kind of into this screen where you have the EQ and the noise gate and whatnot. But if you press on the name IP2, it brings up the screen. So we'll relabel that bass. We're going to select a color. We do our instruments in green, hit apply, and then you just press X. And now we've got a new bass channel over here if somebody was plugged into IP2. So that's really the best way that I found if things get moved around, if people are plugged into new places, if you're having a hard time finding where those channels are. Again, you're going to use the iPad. You're going to look for whichever channel is sending signal. You're going to get the name of that channel, IP43, 44 in this case. We're going to go to Setup. If you've already been in Surface, it'll go back to that. But if it's your first time, the setup screen will look like this with the audio setup. Hit Surface, find that IP number in the top row, and drag it, press and hold, and drag it down to the bottom row.